are they also in Metro Manila? May mga free patent pa ba sa Metro Manila?
Oh, pero ano ang
Or titled na ba yung mga lupa sa Metro Manila?
10%. 40 sa urban. They said that 40% in the urban areas and 60% in the rural areas.
So more in the rural area. Okay.
Yes.
And one last question. I'm sorry, Mr. President, it's just for my understanding, no? And to provide additional information. You're saying that of roughly 30 million hectares in the country, 15 million are alienable and disposable. Of that
15 ba?
alienable and disposable, only 400,000 ang walang titulo.
Yes. Ano? Yes. It's half of a land total area of 30 million hectares. 47% are alienable and disposable, and then 52% would be forest land.
Of the alienable?
No,
Oh,
48 48% ang alienable, and
Okay,
then
correct.
52% ang forest land.
Forest land. Okay. So just to simplify, no? 30 million hectares, more or less 15 million ang alienable. Di ba?
Yeah.
Okay.
14 billion hectares.
Okay, so 14 million hectares are alienable and disposable. Of the 14 million, only 400,000 ang walang titulo.
Yeah, that's true.
So
400,000.
So 13.6 million may titulo na.
Yes. Kasi they've been doing this for a long time, di ba?
Okay. Pero it's parang it's hard to believe na only 400,000 of 15 million ang walang titulo. Meaning to say tax deck yun. Is that correct?
Yes, tax debt. Yeah, it is.
Okay. So 13.6 million. Why is it that when I go around the province and when we do projects like right of way,
3% lang ang untitled eh. 3% are untitled.
Okay. 3% are untitled. 3% of what? Of the 14 million.
14 million.
Okay. So, how come is it, whenever we do right of way sa mga public projects ng gobyerno, lumalabas karamihan ng lupa ay tax deck, hindi titulado. Parang it's the other way around. So I'm surprised that this is the
data. Description nila, Senator, is administratively titled, judicially titled, non-agricultural, areas turned over to other agency, and remaining untitled lands.
Yes.
Maraming iba pa na ano ba to? Lahat ba dito yung non-agricultural areas turned over to the other agencies? Yan ba? Titled lahat yan? Sabi nila titled lahat to.
Okay. When you say administratively titled, hindi ba DNR ang gumagawa nun?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to put that observation on record that it would appear to me that there's more land that are tax deck than with titles. Okay? But based on the data we're hearing today, only 3% of alienable and disposable are tax deck or that have no titles.
Baka yung sinasabi mo is part of the what you call itong ano ba yung mga yung mga yung CLOA, kasama ba dito ang CLOA dito sa
Opo, we turned over to other
CLOA. So 1.3 million hectares area turned over to the other agencies. Ito yung land reform.
Yes.
So marami dyan hindi titled. That's why we're,
Yeah.
kasi
So,
pag CLOA, it cannot be titled. So
correct.
yun siguro nagpaparami.
Hindi, pero ano yan, what I'm saying is that, yes, you have titles, you have CLOAs, and you have tax debt.
Ano sabi mo? What did you say?
I said that, yes, you're correct that there are titles, di ba, TCT, okay? Meron yung CLOA, alam ko rin yung CLOA, okay?
Yeah.
At siyempre may tax debt, okay? Lumalabas based on the data that was presented in our today is that only 3% ang tax debt. But my observation seems to be that there is more than just 3% ang tax debt na walang titulo. Iba yung CLOA, naintindihan ko yun. CLOA.
Ayun po, 400,000 hectares is equivalent to 1 million titles.
Yes, I
So,
understand that.
maraming titles but 2 million titles, yung 400,000.
Okay. Now, having said that,
And then I think this CLOA is around 9% or 1.3 million hectares.
yes, I understand. Thank you. And yan, napag-usapan na natin earlier sa budget ng DAR, di ba? And we support the split program, no? Now, finally, there's only 400,000 hectares left. Shouldn't we try to fast track the titling of these tax decks? Kung kaya naman nila.
Yeah, they can do 1.4 billion pesos a year.
Thank you
And
very
their
much.
budget now is only 415 million.
Okay, thank you for that. So we will try to look for resources to be able to implement this program faster, because I think there will be a multiplier effect in the economy if we were to title more lands para bumilis ang takbo ng ekonomiya. No? So thank you to the sponsor for being patient with this representative, and again to our Senate President, Majority Leader, to the Chairman of the committee. Thank you very much for being patient and for responding to our queries.
It's always a pleasure, Senator Recto. We learn many things from you.
I also learned many things from my chairman, the agriculture sector. Thank you. Thank you.
Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you to our dear Senate President Pro Tem. Mr. President, there is one request of our sponsor. She mentioned this earlier in the lounge. She would wish to, maybe the sponsor could make the request and I'll make the motion, Mr. President.
I'm requesting the Majority Leader if I can ask question to the DNR.
The sponsor, Mr. President, would like to ask questions to the to her department. And of course, being a senior member of the chamber, of course, if there are no objections from our colleagues, we can suspend our rules to allow question hour, Mr. President. So
Yes, that is the only way it's possible. We
Yes,
have to
with the-
suspend the rules.
as long as there's a unanimous consent from our colleagues,
Hindi
we
nakikinig.
so move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, the rules are suspended.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you
President.
very much, Senate President and Majority Floor Leader.
Although this is a unique situation where the sponsor will question herself, her department. May we ask now our, maybe Mr. Secretary to take the seat in the middle, sec, and I believe the good sponsor would like to just ask a few questions. May I ask for 1 minute suspension, Mr. President, so that they can.
Session suspended.
Science-based ang title.
Thank you, Senate President Soto and our Majority Floor Leader, Mick Subiri, and all our colleagues here in the House and in online. I just want to make some sort of stand here for the Secretary of the Department of Environment and Natural Resources to respond to. I was born in Las Piñas. My father was 22 years mayor of Las Piñas from 1963 to 1986. He was removed in 1986, and then in the election of 1987 for Congress, he won as representative of Las Piñas and Muntinlupa. And then he stayed on until 1992. And in 1992, he was sick, so he cannot run anymore. So he gave the seat to my husband, former Senator Manny Villar. And then when Senator Manny Villar became a senator, he gave me the seat from 2001 to 2010. And I got the seat in 2013 as senator, but my son became the congressman of Las Piñas, Mark Villar. And then when Mark Villar was appointed secretary of Department of Public Works and Highway, in the next election, my daughter became congressman of Las Piñas. So it has been in the family for generation, for almost 60 years, 6 decades. And my brother became the mayor of Las Piñas for a long time after my father, until he died this year. So it is my responsibility. I think I have gotten the responsibility to protect my city from any disaster. That's why since 2000, I have fighting against the reclamation of Manila Bay in our part of the city, Bacoor, Las Piñas, and Parañaque. Because there are 6 rivers going out of Manila Bay in Darco, the Imus River, the Bacoor River, the Molino River, the Zapote River, the Las Piñas River, and the Parañaque River. And during the last administration, Secretary Singson told me that I have to take care of Manila Bay because without that, as an outlet for our rivers, we will be flooding by 8 meters. So I took it upon myself to fight against the reclamation of Manila Bay in our part of Manila Bay kasi yung amin is a cove. Hindi bali yung Manila Bay na open to the seas, but our Manila Bay is in a cove. And if we cannot get out of that cove the water from our rivers, then we will have extensive flooding. That's why I'm always fighting it. I fought it from 2000 to 2010, and I thought my problem is over. After that, when the proponent of that reclamation project left our part of Manila Bay, but now I'm doing it again, and I guess it will be my work during my lifetime that I will always be fighting against the reclamation of Manila Bay. It's founded because Secretary Singson told me that because of the continuation of Cavitex, which is supposed to be an aqueduct, instead they reclaimed it and put a certain outlet, and it was not enough. They have to build 9.5 million retarding facility in Imus and Bacoor to stop the flooding. And that's just Cavitex. It's not even a reclamation. That's only a construction of a road along the seashore. So he said that I have to stop the reclamation because we will be flooding by 8 meters. And he was so pissed off because he had to spend 9.5 million to build that water retarding facility, and they had to borrow from the JICA for that because the Philippine government has no money to finance the project. So it took them from 2015 to 2021 to build the water retarding facility, and it is 85% finished. So I thought that if you are going, the DNR will allow the reclamation to close our outlet, then we have to build something like that also in Las Piñas and Parañaque. And it will be more expensive because the land in Las Piñas and Parañaque are more expensive, and you cannot buy that kind of land in Las Piñas and Parañaque. So I thought that I will appeal to Secretary Simatu what will be his stand on this. And I am requesting, I told my fellow senators that I will request Secretary Simatu in behalf of the whole DNR to assure me that they will not give any ECC to the reclamation that will close the rivers of Parañaque, Las Piñas River, uh, uh, Zapote River, Molino River, and that is part of our city. I don't know if this uh, uh, government in Cavite will insist on closing also the Imus and Bacoor River, but I'm very sure that I talked already to the mayor of Parañaque and I talked already to Senator Bong Revilla of Bacoor that we are not amenable for you to close our 4 rivers in Parañaque, Las Piñas, and Bacoor. So I'm just requesting Secretary Simatu to make a manifestation on the floor that you are agreeable to this. That's all. Thank you very much.
Secretary Simato, you are allowed to speak and react.
Good evening, Honorable Senate President, Presiding Officer, Senator Villar. Well, I believe that in position as secretary, I should not be using my interest or self knowledge of whether I like reclamation or not, because as secretary, I use as my basis the role based and science based. Meaning, while I might have some personal opinion on the matter, I don't use my personal opinion to make a decision. I use a role-based, meaning I ask, is it legal? Is it in the Constitution? Reclamation, is reclamation legal? And my second one is science-based. Is it it is based on science and making a decision. So these are the things that I use. Usually, it is also like mining, Your Honors, that I am neither anti-mining or pro-mining. I use role-based. Is mining legal? So these are the things that. Now, I have a staff bureau to undertake the science-based on this reclamation, meaning they have an impact assessment method wherein they ask the proponent the impact assessment, the risk of these projects. So these are the things that in making a decision, but I have my bureau chief who gives the ECC himself, and he is supposed to be knowledgeable on the project vis-a-vis the environmental impact on this project. And so it is the proponent who submits the impact assessment, wherein he will tell us that what is the impact of this project to the environment. And so he will also answer himself that the impact of this is this one, and these are the things that we have prepared to undertake. So these are the things that the proponent will answer. So this is not the basis for the decision on the bureau chief. He is the one who makes this decision, Your Honor. I don't.
Secretary Simatu, who is the proponent of the project? You said that the
May I-
proponent of the project will describe the project and defend the project. Who is the proponent of the project?
Ano? Oh, well, reclamation, the reclamation, Your Honor, project is the proponent is the LGU, the local government unit, and of course with the
Secretary Simatu, I talked to the LGU. The only LGU that agreed to your reclamation near Parañaque, Las Piñas is Mayor Olivares. And he said that he hasn't seen that map his whole lifetime. He didn't know that the reclamation project will block the Parañaque River. I showed him the map. Kasi the problem with this, your hearing, you don't even show, where is that reclamation project. When he saw the map, he said, I didn't know that it will block the Parañaque River. So that's what he said to me. And this map in Bacoor will block our river. Kami ang local government doon. Bakit naman without our knowledge you will block our river? You're just using the local government as proponent, but really, the proponent are private companies. They were introduced to me when they were trying to get the reclamation, and I told them that it cannot be done because it's blocking the outflow of 4 rivers in our city towards Manila Bay. So, what is the logic of reclaiming Manila Bay and then building, just like what happened in Bacoor and Imus? They reclaim Manila Bay and then they built the water retarding facility on land. Parang pinaltan mo yung Manila Bay ng water retarding facility and on land, and you spent 9.5 billion pesos to build that. Why will you do that? Is it true that all of us own Manila Bay? And if it's for our benefit not to reclaim it, then we should not reclaim it. I'm not asking you to stop reclamation everywhere. I'm just telling you, as a resident of Las Piñas, what will happen to us and Parañaque and Bacoor. So I'm just describing to you what will happen to us, because we will be the one that will be affected. Why will you give it to someone who's not even from our place to reclaim our place, and then let us our people suffer from flooding? It's so unfair because we own a portion of the Manila Bay, because all the Filipino people own Manila Bay.
Ma'am, Madam Senator, after I think we have a conversation before,
Yes.
that you had a reference material on Secretary Singson study.
No,
Yes, and
I'm showing you where our rivers are and where it will logically go to if the water will flow from our river. And we're just asking you not to block the flow of water from our river. Even the DPWH were saying that you can do the reclamation outside of that cove. Oh, not inside the cove because that is where our river will flow. And how can our river go out of our city if you're going to block the way for the water to go out of our city? That's the issue. It's common sense. It's a river and there's no place to flow. So, I don't think, kasi sometimes, marami namang study dyan talaga eh. And pinipili lang yung study that can justify the project. Oh, hindi na ako naniniwala sa study. Kasi if you will listen to the expert, they're saying that we should really make sure that we will not flood and we will clean our river because we expect the ocean to rise. In fact, that is the topic in COP26. The high percentage of ocean rise that is not being expected by anybody. That's why they are asking that we limit our emission by 1.5%. Because if not, then there will be an ocean rise. And in addition to our problem of cleaning our river, we have to prepare for the water from the ocean to go into our river. That's double problem for us. But I hope you will understand what we're coming from. We're not asking you to stop all reclamation. We're just asking you to stop the reclamation of the place where our four rivers will go out so that there will be an outlet for our four rivers. Yun lang naman. Hindi ako nagmamagaling sa lahat ng lugar sa Pilipinas. I'm just asking you not to give an ECC in those areas where our four rivers will go out to Manila Bay. That's all. And I hope you understand me.
With your respect, Madam, I'm now directing my bureau director, to restudy this and demand from the proponent to answer this question whether there is a possibility or there is a sure possibility that
That's why I'm asking you.
it will block, it will really, yes.
Because
Yes.
I noticed that you are asking the local government to be proponents, but actually it's not the local government. They were introduced to me. They were private persons. Oh, and I can name them. It's just that I don't want to name them anymore. But if you want me to name them, I can name them. They are not the local government. They are private proponents, but just to make it something that cannot be stopped, you make the proponent the local government. Don't do that. Kasi I know naman the proponents. Nakipagkita na sila sa akin at sinabi nila na sila ang proponent. And nilalakad nila sa akin. Sabi ko, I cannot agree because this is the future of my town. And I cannot risk the future of my town for because we're looking at the future. We're not looking at the present. And it is for our children, not anymore for us. For me, maybe I will die 10 years from now at the most, but it is for my children because, we work hard to make our city nice. Tapos bigla na lang babaha kami ng kadami-dami. It's unfair to us because we have been trying to make it resilient and without any disaster. But you will cause disaster to our city. Kaya I'm asking you personally to manifest to us in front of my colleagues that you will not issue ECC that will impede the flow of our rivers to Manila Bay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, our sponsor, sponsor. Yes, I will require. In fact, I'm requiring now my director to validate these possibilities that the EIA or environmental impact assessment will be studied further, especially the possibility of blocking the rivers going out to the sea.
And in addition, we have declared yung aming Las Piñas Parañaque Wetland Park as a legislated protected area. And it is entitled to a buffer zone. So for a certain area beyond our Las Piñas Parañaque Wetland Park is entitled to a buffer zone, a big buffer zone, so that we have 30 hectares of mangrove forest there. And if there is no free flow of water, then the mangrove forest will die. So I hope that will be considered. But of course, the most important thing is the flooding in our city. So yun lang, Secretary Simatu, I'm requesting you in behalf of our people. Our people will be forever grateful for the things you will do for us because that is very important to us. Because I don't see Las Piñas na after working so hard to make it nice, flooded kami. Like for example, Marikina River, every time there's a typhoon, they have to go to the evacuation center. We don't want that to happen to us. Yun lang po. Thank you very much, Secretary Simato.
Thank you also, ma'am. Thank you also, ma'am.
Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. We appreciate the discussions by our sponsor of the measure together with the secretary. And indeed, the sponsor has a lot of points, very important points. And we're happy that the secretary was able to answer satisfactorily. So with that, Mr. President, I move. Okay na po? Wala na po
Yeah.
tatanong? Opo. Yes, sir.
Rules.
We now terminate the suspension of rules, Mr. President.
All right, any objection? Hearing none, the rules are enforced.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. With that, there are no other questions on the Department of Environment and Natural Resources. Hinahanap ko lang po yung listahan ko. We move that the budget of the Office of the Secretary, Environment Management Bureau, Mines and Geosciences Bureau, National Mapping and Resource Information Authority, National Water Resources Board, and Palawan Council for Sustainable Development be deemed submitted. I so move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Chair hears none. The budget of the DENR and its attached agencies deemed submitted.
May I just ask for a 1 minute suspension, Mr. President, while we just ask them to move on to the seats. Thank you.
Thank you.
Session suspended.
Promise.
Crowd? Yeah, they don't have to crowd the Senate. Mr. President, I move that the budget, boss, dangerous drugs board. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes. The list is the Dangerous Drugs Board, Mr. President. I move that the budget of the Dangerous Drugs Board, Mindanao Development Authority, Office of the Presidential Advisor of the Peace Process, Dangerous Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency, the favorite Freeport zone of Senator Angara, the Aurora Pacific Economic Zone Authority, Freeport Authority, and Development Academy of the Philippines. Kasama dito yung budget support to government corporations under the DTI. The Civil Service Commission, the Career Executive Service Board be deemed submitted. I so move, Mr. President.
Any objection? Hearing none, the enumerated budgets of the departments or the agencies are hereby deemed submitted.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. President, before I suspend session for tomorrow, I'd like to remind our dear colleagues, it was the birthday yesterday of Senator Jaime Marcos. Or last Friday rather, November 12.
Ano, ganun na lang?
Yun nga po, kaya binanggit ko po, for the record. Nakikita ko lang po yung mga libro niya. Sa online, nawawala
she,
po.
ano? She still on,
Parang, we'll just remind her, we'll just send a message in our Viber chat, Mr. President, not to forget us when she's in paradise.
Yes, because we expect that because we know for a fact that she's half Ilonggo and half,
half Waray.
half
Oh, Waray.
Waray and half Ilocano. So,
Masasarap ang pagkain ng Waray tsaka Ilocano.
yeah, we were expecting the Waray factor because of the...
We'll remind our staff, Mr. President, with our banter tonight. Thank you, Mr. President. With that, I thank my colleagues. For the record, we have with us today Senator Angara, Senator Pia Cayetano, Senator Villar, of course, the presiding officer, Senate President Soto, and I believe Senator Ralph is still in his room upstairs that are here tonight and finishing, at least completing our schedules for today.
Senator Tolentino just...
Senator Tolentino also was with us here for quite some time. With that, Mr. President, and all the members who are online still listening in.
Yes, then there's the... we, of course... did you commend the star of the new superstar of the Senate?
Sino po?
The Sergeant at Arms.
Oo nga. It was in the news the whole day today, Mr. President.
Yeah.
Yes, we did early this morning. I think there was a commendation given.
Good.
Commendation.
Many reporters are seeking him now.
Baka tumakbo na senador yan, Mr. President. Tapos na yung substitution. Okay.
All right, good.
So with that, Mr. President, I move that we suspend session until 10:30 in the morning, Tuesday, November 16, 2021. Maraming salamat po.
Any objection? Chair hears none. The session is suspended until 10:30 in the morning of Tuesday, November 16, 2021.
Yay, thank you.